Caitlyn, and the last 2-3 weeks have been pretty hectic, really up and down. Still coming to terms with my eating disorder diagnosis, so yeah, that's been a lot, but had some really good days, getting back into uni, so that'd be nice to have some structure. Yeah. So I've suffered from anxiety from a very, very young age, from almost year 3. But I've recently been diagnosed with an eating disorder, which has been interesting. So that came about because I was rapidly losing weight, and that's not always the case, but that was kind of a big warning sign for my parents, and they asked me to go and get checked out, so I did, and then, yeah, so I've been formally diagnosed with one recently, but then we traced it back to year 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's when it first probably started?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thought processes and that from year 8, but the weight changes more recently. Yeah.
Do you think that there was a trigger that happened in year 8 that caused it? Started the ball rolling?
Not necessarily a single trigger. I guess like a lot of pressure on girls from society to look a certain way, and I took that on board quite seriously with my weight. I always wanted to be skinny, I guess, yeah. But obviously it didn't go around it the right way. A lot of the time I experience this thing called depersonalization, so I kind of detach from my body and view everything in kind of a third person perspective. And I found out recently that's because of this thing called starvation syndrome. Yeah, so obviously when you're not getting enough nutrition, it has some effects on your brain. So yeah, there's that. Memory loss, no energy, no motivation, yeah, not sleeping, mood changes.
Yeah.
And then with me, I had weight fluctuations as well, yeah. I've had it explained to me as kind of a coping mechanism. So when I detach myself, it's so that I don't really have to deal with what's going on. And it's kind of me protecting myself. But it's, I guess, kind of trippy in a way. Like, it's almost as though you're watching a movie about yourself, but not really feeling or experiencing anything, just watching.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people, they get it with other mental health issues like anxiety as well, yeah. My lowest was probably realising how ingrained the negative thoughts were in myself, because I thought the eating disorder was only a thing of the last couple of months. But then upon getting help, yeah, we've traced it back to year 8, which is a pretty scary thought. And it also, I guess it was so low for me because it realised how much work I've got to do. And just realising how much it affects everything I do, and how that felt normal to me, and not realising it was a bad thing, the way that I think about food, my body, my weight, other people. It just seemed normal, and it seemed like that's what everyone did, but it's not. Yeah, I guess because a lot of girls think like that, and boys as well, but because I mostly was surrounded by girls when I was growing up, and everyone sort of had this language and this dialogue, it seemed really normal. And now I look back at a lot of things that were said at school with my friendship group, and they're quite concerning. But at the time, that was normal.
Yeah. What kind of things were they?
Just the way they talk about their bodies, things like, I'm not going to eat to fit into a certain outfit, or having idols, I guess, like models and that have unattainable bodies, and wanting to be like that, even though everyone has their own perfect way, and it might not be a certain skinniness or overweight or, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at talking about my issues. I kind of take things on board myself and deal with them quietly behind closed doors. But I guess with the weight loss, my parents did notice, and they kind of, they broke down to me and got quite emotional about it, and that was kind of like, okay, I need to get better for them. I need to start seeking help, and I guess I lost myself and I wanted to be me again. So I've been seeing a psychologist for a while, but I brought up specifically the eating. So she's been really good with that. And then I'm also seeing a dietitian now, which is good. That started recently.
Cool.
So that's been really helpful.
Yeah.
I find it a lot easier to do things for other people than myself. So I've really thought about how much this was affecting them. And I don't want my friends and family to be upset about me. So yeah, that's really helped me. Also with the dietitian, looking at my goals, and it's hard to think of goals when you are in a low point, but thinking of goals for now and in the future. And if I continue this way, I won't be able to achieve them because of the symptoms like the memory loss and the depersonalization. It's so much harder to get to where I want to be. As with a lot of mental illnesses, it's different for every person, but I've found, especially with eating disorders, it's so complex and we don't understand everything. So don't punish yourself if something you've tried isn't working. Just keep trying other things. Dealing with things yourself isn't strong. Being strong is being able to open up to people, and being vulnerable is being strong.